Now then, people, it's Joe and Oscar, and it's all Leeds TV, and it's time for your Everton preview. We thought we'd try something a little bit different. We thought we'd give it a go live. I think that's the way forward for us. We've got loads to get into. We're gonna have a chat about Maradona. One sec, yeah. My apologies. I've got something on, and I can hear myself in my in my headphones. That always happens. Sorry, my bad. Right, we're back. So we've got loads to get into, Oscar. We're going to touch on Maradona. Of course, the passing of a great just yesterday at 60-year-old. We're going to have a little quick chat about the tier systems, what that means for fans in and outside of the ground. We're going to have a chat about the key points from the presser. And then we'll have a look ahead to Everton and what they've got, to offer, who their key danger men are, etc., etc. So, do you want to start off then, mate? So, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and profess to know copious amounts about the legend that is Diego Maradona. I know you're very much into your Spanish football, Latin football, and you know quite a lot. I mean, let's be honest, Oscar is a wealth of knowledge. He's just been, I don't know if anyone remembers, but we had a guy called Nacho Z, not too long ago, Spanish YouTuber that was
to go into Ellen Road as well. Nacho.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nacho was actually at the gig when we won the championship title, and he was in the ground and he got to meet Bielsa, etc. So he contacted Oscar earlier asking him to do a little bit about Maradona on his channel. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, do you want to start us off, mate, and just have a quick chat about Diego Maradona?
Wow, I mean, what can you say about Maradona? I mean, as I was saying to Nacho, I think 60 years old. I think he lived 4 different lives. I mean, it's just. I mean, he is a rock star, isn't he? He was a rock star in a footballer's body in terms of the way he lived. But I mean, that's part of his genius. I think obviously you've seen people like Gaza, Ronaldinho. I think all geniuses like that, they just act a bit differently, in terms of off the field. I think obviously the most interesting thing would have been if Marcelo Bielsa and Maradona had ever worked together. I think they almost did at Newell's, to be fair. There was just a little crossover. Bielsa left the year before Maradona joined, but imagine. I do just think that's maybe the thing he might have just needed, just a Bielsa kind of disciplinarian, just at that peak stage of his career. But my word, mate, I mean, when I went to Naples, I mean, everywhere, Maradona.
So have you been over? Yeah.
Have
you been?
30 years since he played there. Well, I think 26, 27 when he had played there. But it's been a long time since he'd left, kind of thing. And Napoli had had relative success since then as well. But the fact of the matter is, every building, every establishment, everywhere, Maradona. It's just, and that kind of sums it up really. And that's for me is what I kind of hope that Leeds will be like, in 20, 30 years time. When Marcelo Bielsa, ultimately that kind of shrine. But it's just quite incredible, really. You think he would still be playing today, the way it was, and that's quite incredible. I think they named the stadium after as well. But I
was just going to say, their technical directors come out and said we're going to name, the Napoli stadium after him, and they were holding eulogies for him last night, and the streets were just paved with fans. It's amazing to see, and I really think I watched Gary Lineker speak about him last night on the Champions League stuff, and how he'd kicked this ball like 13 times in the air and only ever had to move like 3 paces, and just some of the videos. I mean, we all know about 86 and what happened there, and the goal. The hand of God, and also one of the greatest World Cup goals. I mean, let's be honest, it was unreal. But just even some of the videos of him doing the tricks and stuff, he was just a fantastic player, wasn't he, mate?
Mate, I wish I'd seen him live, kind of thing. Yeah. He's one of those players that obviously count myself lucky I've seen Messi, people like that, Ronaldinho, all players like that. But for me, Maradona just had that something a little bit different in terms of he just had that personality to go with it as well, because he was wild, unpredictable, but. And I think obviously in England, it was seen in a different way. We never quite respected him in that way.
Forgave him, did we? We didn't forgive him, mate.
I was brought up to kind of like by my granddad dad, family kind of thing to think Maradona was, I'm not going to say live what they said he was, but, that was what you kind of brought up to believe in England kind of thing, the media. I mean, you only have to see the media since, and I think that's a bit bad taste, really, going about the hand of God.
Oh, mate, well, it's the red top,
isn't
it? It's the disgusting red top journals. I seen you tweet out about it, actually, and it's disgusting.
Peter Shilton, really? I mean, he's misjudged that one for me. He's talking
Is that real, though?
There's one where he's talking about, he says, Maradona was a great player, but he was a cheat. I mean, the thing is, what I'm going to say is that, for me, always say about the hand of God goal is, why there's no focus on the referee? It's all about Maradona, but the referee, the linesman, have missed someone punching the ball who's 5'5".
Yeah, let's not forget.
Over a 6'5" goalkeeper. But for me, it's just instinct, wasn't it? I mean, and you just saw in the 86.
Let's be honest, Oscar. If the boot was on the other foot,
do you
know what I mean? I actually seen
against Forest that time.
Yeah. Well, I actually seen a video earlier on as well. This is what I mean. There's been so many great videos of the great man, and there was a video. He was, I think he was Argentina manager. They'd been playing Scotland, and someone asked him about the hand of God and how he was vilified, etc. And he turned around and said, "Well, let's not forget England won a World Cup when the ball was clearly not over the line. So don't come at me with that sort of stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough, man. True, proper genius." And I tell you what, I do want to ask actually, which I found was a bit way of the mark. Andre Villas-Boas coming out and asking that FIFA retire the number 10 shirt indefinitely amongst everywhere, and I was a bit like, I'm not so sure that works.
Isn't it? It's I mean, I don't even think I don't think Maradona would have wanted that. I think what Maradona was, I think he's a bit like, I think he saw football the same way as Bielsa, that it was about the beauty of it, about the style, about it being good to watch. I don't think he was that bothered about the trophies, because let's be honest, Maradona, for his ability, we never played in the Champions League, or a European Cup at the time. The biggest trophy he won in Europe was kind of a UEFA Cup, and you kind of look at him and think, you know what? If he played for like the Liverpool of that time, in the 80s, when Liverpool had, everyone kind of playing for more like the Juventus, but I don't think that appealed to him. I think he always wanted to be like Bielsa in that kind of way, that he wanted to just pick a city up and just be that man kind of thing. And I don't think people, like John here says, right? I don't think he'd have got that at Liverpool, or I don't think he didn't have it at Barcelona. He played at Barcelona for 2 years, and he didn't quite have that same kind of connection with everyone. And I just think it's his personality as well, to come out with, when he's getting attacked by the media, I don't think he's bothered, because he knows he's quick-witted, he can come back at them. Well, I think as well, he's one of them players that transcends football. There's been images of him with Queen, images of him with the Gallagher brothers. I bet that was one wild night, let's be honest. There must have been some stuff going down when he met the Gallaghers, man. Well, the best story I think I've ever heard was on Paul Gascoigne's Sportsman's Dinner speech, when I think Maradona was playing for Sevilla, Gazza was playing for Lazio. They were playing in the UEFA Cup, and they were both together in the tunnel kind of thing. So, as you can imagine, two number 10s, two fantastic personalities in that sense. And Maradona said to Paul Gascoigne, he said, "Gazza, I'm a little bit pissed in that lot." And then Gazza said back to him, said, "So am I," kind of thing. And that was it. That was it. I think Gazza got the winner in the game, kind of thing, and I think they both got fined 40 grand or something like that. But that was it. And that's what I think. Those kind of players for me, just players who just play off the cuff and just carry a whole, Gazza at Euro '96, that kind of thing, or Italia '90. I think they've got to have that kind of. I think all geniuses have that kind of bit of flaw to them. A bit. Ronaldinho's in jail at the minute. They've all got that kind of flaw to them in that sense.
I know what you mean.
They're all a bit different, and I think that's what makes them great. They're not structured, I think in this kind of modern game, I think everyone's got to behave spot on. You got social media. If social media had been around when they were playing,
wow, can you imagine?
It's
if they're geniuses like that, they can get away with it. Not say like a Nile Ranger, for example. But we've took some graphics from. Oscar's took some graphics from what Bielsa had to say about the big man, There's some lovely stuff. Do you want to just read that, Oscar?
Yeah, I think the first bit he started with was Maradona was an artist. The dimension of the repercussion of this art has infinite recognition. To give one example, the songs written about him are extraordinary, and I read 10 texts after his death that have been emotional. And he just went on to say as well, there's a recognition of what he gave to the spectators in beauty. Diego made us feel a fantasy. An idol makes you feel. The myth is that the person, what he does makes us believe we're all capable of doing it. Marcelo Bielsa on Diego Maradona. I mean, obviously it's difficult to translate that exactly, mate. You know, I think obviously there's a bit of a translation difference, but I think in essence what Marcelo Bielsa is saying there is that, you know, the recognition is there from the whole world to an extent, and it's someone that's going to be difficult to repeat. I think even you look at people like Messi, Ronaldo, etc., these kind of people, I still don't think they kind of got the. I think Maradona was just a bit of everything, wasn't he? I think he's someone who was easy to make a film
where
about.
Where would you rate him then? Obviously, in that conversation, you've got Pele, you've got Maradona, you've got Ronaldo, Messi, and Lord Bettner. But no, where do you?
As well, mate.
Yeah?
You got Mateus Click and Pablo Hernandez.
Yeah,
as well,
we'll have a chat about that in a little bit later on. I bet you were absolutely buzzing when you seen that.
Mate, worked a treat, mate.
Yeah.
Where
do you rate him?
It's a hard one, mate, because obviously, never saw him live, and you got people like Cruyff as well, and you got so many people you can put in there. I think he's got to be top three, though. I think certainly got to be top three, top four. I think no doubt about that. Whether he's top, I don't know. I saw Graham Souness say earlier on that he thought he was better than Messi, and I think Graham Souness is probably one of the more educated to do that, because obviously he played against Maradona. He played in that kind of era. So I think it's got to be.
And there's loads of factors, isn't there, as well? They were talking about on BT, saying like the pitches, the type of balls they were using back in the day in comparison to what's used now. It's a totally different ball game, isn't it? You know, if Maradona's around today on the pitches that that they're lucky enough to play on, and the boots, just everything has just progressed, and it enables them to be better professionals, you know. But
I think even the teams he was playing in, the Argentina team, it wasn't great, I wouldn't be able to name one other person who was in the Argentina team. It was a very average team, and obviously Napoli have never been one of the big powerhouses of Italy, and to carry him to that height as well. You look at Messi at Argentina, he's not quite been able to do the same thing, and that for me is a big sign of greatness as well. So for that alone, I think you've got to say, in terms of natural abilities, he's got to be in the top three for me, at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's move it on slightly. We've had a chat about Maradona. Guys, keep getting your comments in. We are going to go through them. Obviously, we are going to touch on Everton. We're going to be here for a while so we can have a good chat. We're going to chat about the presser. Please smash a like on the video as well. I just want to touch on the tier systems. I just want to touch on the tier systems. Obviously, we've come out today. I was really excited. There's a possibility that I might be going to the ground ahead of Christmas, which would have been absolutely amazing. Then it's come out today, and no shocks, if I'm being totally honest, that the whole of London are allowed to go into games, which I'm not shocked. Obviously, Liverpool had the mass testing, etc. So that they're the only places, though. What do you make of it? Obviously, you're in and around the Liverpool area, Oscar. Liverpool, London. Are you a little bit gutted that we're not going to be going to games?
Mate, massively gutted. Massively gutted, and it's just typical that as we're about to play Chelsea, now we're going to have Chelsea fans in the ground, and it does give it a different dimension. I think it definitely gives the home team the lift. You know what? I think it's going to play a bit of a difference. I think Jamie Carragher mentioned it as well. How is it fair that in football, in terms, we spoke about, there was a big hoo-ha, when football was returning, about how it's unfair that we're playing football now behind closed doors. Home teams lost their advantage, but now it's even more unfair. For me, I was always of the impression that, I think Marcelo Bielsa said this as well. To quote, and he was saying that not really. If it's not 100% safe or supposedly not safe to have that as many as 4,000 in there, just wait until we can. Wait until we can get full people in there. I mean, you look at it as well, the whole experience. It doesn't sound particularly great. You go in there. You obviously got the mask on. You can't stand up. You can't sing. I know people will do. I mean, you're not telling me that in a 90th minute winner, Chelsea Leeds, there's not going to be Chelsea fans hugging each other. You're not telling me that. That's just complete rubbish if that's not the case. But you it's just, yeah, it's gutting, mate. It's not surprising, London, as Warnock said, we're in London, aren't we? And that lot, Warnock, it's got it quite. There's not many things I agree with on Neil Warnock, but one thing I do agree with is that London teams will always get the advantage some way or another. Always get the advantage some way. And that's kind of been the case again. But obviously Liverpool, the mass testing, they've kind of gone to tier 2, so obviously 2,000 in the ground. But yeah, I think there's a lot of places still kind of.
This is almost it's almost as if the narrative is that, oh look, Liverpool had all this past testing and now you're allowed in the football. Everyone get tested and we'll let you in the football. That's just my opinion. I've been watching too much YouTube, man.
I'm waiting for Guardiola and Klopp. There's going to be a right rivalry about that, isn't there? One's been able to get fans in the ground, one hasn't. But yeah, Manchester and Liverpool, there's already a bit of a needle between the two, and for that to happen as well, one's tier 2, one's tier 3. Ooh, not gone down well, mate. Not gone down well at all, to be fair.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I mean, I think they're going to review it every 2 weeks. So hopefully, they review it and there comes a point where when we're allowed back in the grounds. But like you say, it gives Chelsea an unfair advantage. I mean, we never do well in London anyway, but to then go down there and the fact that they've got 2,000 fans in the ground and can be heard. And if, it's going to be quite... I wonder how it's going to be for the Leeds United players. Obviously, the fact that they're going to be going to Chelsea, there's a little bit of needle there anyway. The fan base, the Leeds players of this age won't have, realised it. But Chelsea and Leeds have a notorious rivalry. LUFC Lewis has done a great video on that as well. So if you haven't already, please check it out on his channel. Yeah, it's a bit of an unfair, isn't it? Let's say, for example, if they're giving a bit of stick, it's going to be heard. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be able to hear it. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. But let's move on from the tier systems and let's talk about the press conference. Some key news coming out at the presser. Obviously, no Pablo Hernandez, Jamie Shack, or Diego Llorente. I'm starting to worry, Oscar, that will we ever see Llorente?
Mate, it's one of them. Is Llorente the Spanish Adam Forshaw? That's the debate we have here. Is Paella Forshaw? That's the debate we have to have here. But yeah, no, obviously, mate, it's a bit of a concern now. He's played more games for Spain this season than he has for Leeds United.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Why did we let him go on international duty? I don't know. Why we didn't try and pull him out of that, somehow. But it's one of those things, mate. Obviously, I think the other ones that are interesting. I think for me, Rodrigo starts this game. I do think Rodrigo's going to come in. I know Bielsa didn't refer to that specifically, but I'd imagine Rodrigo's going to come in for Shuey Dallas or Alioski. I can't see him being left on the bench again. I think, obviously, Bielsa was trying to get him up to full fitness. I do have that feeling that's going to happen. And whether it's Alioski or Dallas to come out, probably Alioski, I'd have thought. I don't know what you think about that, mate. Do you see? I think that's the only change I kind of see happening. There might not be any at all, to be fair. It might just be 11 again.
I think what we'll do, we'll have a chat about our 11 towards the end of the end of the video. But obviously, the big thing for me coming out is the fact that Calvin Phillips is going to be fit. I was worried, Oscar. Obviously, the fact that he took a knock, it was an off the ball kind of situation. I'm thinking, all right, okay, he's probably played through the pain barrier as we know he likes to do. And then, of course, it turns out he's totally fine. He's going to be fit and ready and raring to go for the weekend. And Calvin's so integral to this side, isn't he?
Absolutely, mate. I mean, look at that performance. I mean, I think we both alluded to it. His best game in the Premier League so far. We really looked at home in that game. I think Xhaka, he completely dominated that battle. We said he made Xhaka look like a championship player, to be honest, on the day. And he's massive in this game. He's massive, in that kind of, in terms of stopping James, stopping Doucouré, those midfielders Everton have got. He's massive to that. And it's just a big boost for the whole team. I think the defence had that little bit more confidence having him in front of them. I mean, it was a massive, I think psychologically it was a massive difference. I think especially for Robin Koch, I think it really helped him in that second half. We saw Robin Koch getting forward. Obviously, a lot's been made of that. Obviously, a lot of people were critical of Robin Koch for giving the ball
unfairly.
I thought so as well. But I don't think you see Robin Koch push that far forward with Pascal Struijk in front of him, Matthijs Klick in front of him. And in fact, we know that because we saw that from the last 2 games. So it's a massive boost, mate. He's a superb player, Calvin Phillips. He's not far off. been a regular England international for me. You know, I think the big thing for me with Calvin Phillips is he knows he's in competition with Declan Rice for that last place. It's very important to Calvin Phillips in terms of for himself. I think he loves playing for England. It's that extra motivation now, and I think that's only good for Leeds United that he's got that motivation now that every single performance is going to be scrutinised not only by Marcelo Bielsa, by his other manager, and if he keeps playing like he did against Arsenal, he's going to start for England in the Euros, and that's a massive, massive incentive for him. And I think it's the same with all our players, you know. I think Rodrigo, you know, is in competition for Spain's number 9 spot, and it's good, you know, having these international players. You know, you look at, say, West Brom, Fulham, etc. They haven't got that calibre of player. You know, they haven't got that kind of. All their focus is on their own team, if that makes sense. And I just think it's small percentages at the minute, mate. And I think it's working in our favour at the minute.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, coming out from the Everton side, no Luca Digne, which is absolutely huge. I'm sure Coleman's out as well. I think Seamus Coleman still might be out as well. So I think Alex Iwobi played at right wing back last time out. I'm not sure who'll cover in at left wing back or left back. For Luca Digne, but he's a massive loss, right?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I know. Obviously, that Fulham game, you know, he saw how many times Digne got forward. I think they kind of played a back three against, you know, as you said, you know, Iwobi at right wing back, and they were very attack minded. And I think Digne gives them that bit of balance. Obviously, Baines has gone as well, so obviously Baines is no longer at Everton, and that's he kind of had Baines to come in, but I'm not sure who will come in at left back. I think there's a couple of younger players, and that's a bonus to us, I think, for Rafinha, in terms of us going forwards. No Luca Digne, all of a sudden a much easier game for Rafinha, isn't it? I think that rhymes as well. We can have that bit as being the slogan for the game as well. No Digne, party for Rafinha, isn't it? But
I love that. No Digne, party for Rafinha.
That was decent.
Did you just think of that on the fly?
That was decent, that, you know, it's just saying it. No Digne, party for Rafinha. There you go. That's the title for after the game. So, mate, he's definitely our best defender as well. I think defensively, they are pretty weak to me. I think they've got a lot of mistakes in them. And, you know, as you say, you know, as you were saying with Sarah, you know, there's going to be goals in this game. There's no doubt about it. You look at the attacking talent on both teams, there's going to be goals in this game.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. And like Dale says, clever Oscar for that little quip there. I loved it. Another big thing before we actually really hone down on Everton and get your thoughts and get your score predictions. Obviously, huge news coming out from the press conference for our man Oscar. Was this comment made by Marcelo Bielsa? Yeah, he said, "Click for me can play in all the best teams in the world." You know, when I first seen it, Oscar, I was like, "Why is he?"
You thought it was me. You thought it was me.
I was like, has Oscar got hold of Phil's phone and that? But no, I was thinking, don't say that, please, because do you think there ever comes a point where someone comes in for Click?
I think the big thing with Click is his age. You know, I think he's 30 now. I think if he was 5 years younger, I'd be genuinely quite concerned about that. You know, I would be genuinely concerned about it. I think, you know, you look at like certainly in Everton. You know, you look at an Everton or someone like that, possibly even higher in Arsenal, etc., etc. They won't be looking at Click in terms of the way he started the season. You know, the fact he's played brilliantly against De Bruyne, brilliantly against Liverpool, brilliantly against Arsenal, 3 top teams, as well as being consistent throughout the season. Yeah, I think, definitely. You know, I think obviously he's getting a lot of acknowledgement outside of the Leeds now as well, which he probably wasn't getting beforehand as well. And yeah, you know, look at what he offers. So, you know, he offers goals, creativity, he passes the ball well, he works hard. He's a manager's dream in terms of a midfielder. You know, I think a lot of teams would like to have Click in their team, and yeah, mate, it'd just be a nightmare. If Messi starts holding Barcelona to ransom to sign him, we're in a bit of bother, aren't we, mate?
But you're right, though. I mean, Click goes into the Arsenal side. He makes them infinitely better, doesn't he? You know, especially in the middle of the park with Xhaka and Ceballos. He makes them better almost instantly. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Jin Funk, massive fan of the channel, always with us, big fan. But I don't agree with that comment. I think for me, Jin Funk Click had one of his best games. For me, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And I think if he scores against Arsenal, it's almost the complete performance. He was unbelievable on the weekend, wasn't he, Oscar?
Yeah, I think that's probably the only criticism you can have of Click was his finishing. Ironically, obviously they both fell on his left foot though, so we can let him off a bit for that. I think obviously both bouncing balls, but yeah, he's superb, mate. I think obviously quoted in the post match in the game. I think he only completed 5 less passes than Arsenal's whole midfield put together, kind of thing. So that's insane. That's a newly promoted club as well. Producing those kind of numbers against Arsenal and. Pretty incredible, really. And yeah, there's no doubt that Arteta will have looked at that and thought, yeah, he's a decent player. And he's playing for Poland. He's playing with Lewandowski, high caliber of players. Yeah, I'm quietly confident. I don't think. I think
that's crazy, isn't it? That's the big thing.
Fucking
1.5 million.
He could get in the team ahead of Union Kane at one point. We have to remember this. Mate, that was a dark day to be a Leeds fan. When you're watching Union Kane, no disrespect to him, Connor Shaughnessy playing in there. I think I can't remember what game it was. I was thinking, oh my word, you were just watching Sunday League players playing ahead of him. And that was
remember me, Connor, and Tash were in Leeds on the day of. I think I was with my brother actually and Connor going to meet Tash on the day that there was the kick-off at Millennium Square. And we seen Connor Shaughnessy with the bird just doing some shopping. And I was just looking because Connor went, there's Connor Shaughnessy, and we were just talking, and I was thinking, wow, like when Leeds are just about to play, Charlton confirm the title, all that sort of stuff. And no, it was before. Anyway, it's the day Millennium Square, and I just thought he's there doing a bit of shopping, probably thinking, oh, what if that makes sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't recognise Connor Shaughnessy, to be honest. That's so bad, isn't it? I genuinely wouldn't recognise him. But yeah, no, look, I'm sure they tried the best when they were here, and it just weren't quite at that level, kind of thing. And that's that's testament to Click. I mean,
do you remember TC played him in the DM against Birmingham because he was tall?
Oh.
Do you remember that was his logic?
Oh, mate.
Because he was tall, I think.
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, that whole game, getting beat by Birmingham, I mean, oh, man. But yeah, no, I remember then that first, I think that's what cost TC, not to go too much into that, but you know what? I'm sure Thomas Christensen must look at that now and think, I know they didn't get on, I know there was a bit of, there wasn't quite a bit of love lost between the two as such, but you must look at that back at that now, Christensen, and think, maybe I should have just given him a chance. Maybe, you look at Phillips and Click, you see what they've become now. That's all he needs to do. Vieira, we had Ronnie Vieira there as well. He just needs to make a midfield out of those three. And you look at it back at it now and you think, my word, that was a failure, that. And then obviously sending him out on loan. And then, but it's the way it works, mate. It just sums up, Click's character. I think ultimately that experience helps Click. I think he showed glimpses in that first season, but I think ultimately having to work that little bit harder, going back out to Holland and working again, starting again almost. And
I think the great thing was as well, Oscar, is when he turned round to Victor Orta and said, I will be back. That showed the mettle of the man, that showed the real desire of the guy to say basically, I will be back, I will return back to this Leeds United side when he did send him out on loan. And it just shows you, and to think he came in and was in the maybe group and then he made his way in and now he's like basically Bielsa's saying he could play for anyone, basically, he's that good. And he's had a fantastic start. Let's move it on slightly, my man. I just want to talk on about Bielsa being nominated for the FIFA Manager of the Year award. And how great was it to see Twitter go into meltdown yesterday. I was absolutely reveling in it. It was amazing, weren't it?
Mate, I knew before, anything that was announced that someone like Matt Law or TalkSport were going to pick up on that so quickly. Before it's even been announced, they're going to be there on Twitter. Just the keyboards were on fire. They were that angry, mate. They were that angry. They had to replace the keyboards. I mean, mate, it's just unbelievable. We're getting under people's skin that much. But what makes me laugh, they said yesterday, people are talking about Bielsa, but there's other people on that list and they're looking at them thinking, hang on a minute, we're turning on
You,
Bielsa.
yeah.
But Zidane's fourth with Real Madrid in the Liga. He got knocked out in the Champions League early. Why is he not getting the same, criticism? Or I can't try and think who else is on there. It's Klopp, Zidane,
Bayern Munich manager.
yeah, obviously that's fair enough. I mean, I think to be fair, with it not just being the fan, if it's just the fans vote, Bielsa wins this hands down. We don't even need to.
I think Klopp, the Liverpool fans are a different breed.
The judge is going to go for Flick because he won the Bayern's manager because he won the treble. I don't think you can really argue that, to be fair. But look, let's not get anything twisted here, mate. Bielsa belongs in that top 5. You can debate who else should drop out. Bielsa belongs in that
let's talk about that law. Let's just pick the bones out of it. He initially said Lampard should be there. This is a guy that took Chelsea from 3rd to 4th, took them to a couple of finals and lost every single one. Let's talk about Dean Smith, who he also said, I'm trying not to swear, but this guy kept Aston Villa up on a technicality. They'd have gone down had goal line technology worked. They'd have gone down. So how can he say that he's done better than Bielsa? Like, I couldn't.
Don't forget Chris Wilder as well. Chris Wilder, who's bottom of the Premier League with 1 point.
Yeah.
That's what. And he supposedly has done a better job this calendar year than Marcelo Bielsa. But I think there's a big thing about the results in that lot. Oh, it's only the Championship. But it's the whole way he's got to play in. The fact we went to Arsenal at the start of the year, outplayed them as a Championship club with half a team out. The fact we won the Championship with such ease. I think it was it 16 wins out of the last 18? It was something. After that Brentford game, our form, mate, was just... Mate, I always look back at that Brentford game and think, that was the turning point. And our form after that game, even now, it's probably the best among the best in England. It's certainly better than Man City's, in that kind of sense. And that's the crazy thing. I mean, Lampard. I mean, seriously.
Come on.
I know he's got Chelsea playing a bit now, but he's spent 250 million. The minimum Chelsea have got to do this season is compete for the title, and they're still quite a bit off it now. So I don't get it, mate. If you're going to throw people like that, I don't. Mourinho, people like that. Yeah, maybe you can say in the top 5. But Dean Smith, Chris Wilder, have a day off, mate.
Oh, this is the thing. And then there was some serious work done by Leeds United fans. And alas, I forget her name. I retweeted it, but basically they found a tweet from like 2013 or whenever it was. I think he was using a BlackBerry at the time, where he said that that Bielsa was on the top of Chelsea's list and above Guardiola, some other names, Mourinho, whoever it was. And he basically said, I would love him to come to England in sort of them words. And I just thought that is brilliant. The fact that someone's found that and now you're digging him out, you know what I mean? And it just shows you can't hide. You cannot hide on social media. And I thought it was brilliant that they managed to find that comment. Did you see that, mate?
Yeah, mate. I just want to imagine Bielsa managing Frank Lampard. That'd be the funniest thing of that. I mean, imagine that. But yeah, no, and John Terry as well, to be fair. But yeah, mate, no, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Leeds fans, you can't kid Leeds fans. You will always get you cannot have a go at Leeds United unless your record is completely clean. You've got to be completely clean. I'm talking like Perlo kind of clean. You cannot have any controversies in your life at all, because if you've tweeted anything out, it's getting digged out. You can be absolutely sure of it. It's going to get digged out. So I find it absolutely crazy. There's still people on TalkSport, etc., that have a go at Leeds because you're just fighting a losing battle, guys. You're just fighting a losing battle. Yeah,
it's so true. It's so true. Right, let's move on to Everton now. We've done 35 minutes. There's just been so much going on in the football world, in the Leeds United world, so we thought we'd have a chat about it before we jumped in to Everton. Right, Everton, initially, Oscar, I want to ask you, is Champions League a realistic possibility for Everton this season? Do you think it's out of sight just due to the up and down form?
It's a hard one, isn't it, mate? Because you look at that front three, obviously, just to flick onto it now, actually, wow. I mean, obviously, Calvert-Lewin's been the poster boy of it to an extent, 10 in 9. James Rodriguez, I mean, he's just top class. He's probably the best player technically. And then Richarlison's chipped in with goals, and 74% of their goals have come from that front three. But for me, obviously, it's something for us to watch out for, going into this game. But for me, that suggests being a little bit over-reliant on those three. If one of them gets injured, Calvert-Lewin gets an injury, Calvert-Lewin gets a January bid. I've seen Arsenal have been actually being linked to Calvert-Lewin as a swap deal for Lacazette. I've seen mentioned. Wow. That could be quite big. That could be a big move in like the whole dynamic kind of thing.
You make a good point. Like with Richarlison, I think of all the games that he's played, I think there's been 9 games in total where Richarlison's been out, and Everton haven't won one game with Richarlison out of the side. The 9 games he's missed, they've lost every single one. I think it showed. I think he was on the pitch a couple of seconds, after they'd lost 3 games. Richarlison's, gets suspended after the Liverpool game. They'd lost 6 at that point. They then lose the next 3. He starts against Fulham, and within like 40-odd seconds, he lays on an assist, do you know what I mean, for Calvert-Lewin. So it just shows how dangerous Richarlison is. I think it's massive for us, Oscar, that he isn't going to be able to combine with Luca Digne. The fact that Digne is out on that left-hand side. But Richarlison is someone, for me, that we really need to be wary of. He's a fantastic talent. I think he's underrated, personally. Yeah,
no, definitely. And I think, obviously, you look at Everton and think, if that front three stays fit, Pickford picks up a bit of form, because, I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, I go into this game with quiet confidence Pickford will make a mistake at some point. He's got to shoot on sight. Click, Rodrigo, every single time you get the ball, shoot. Just shoot, because he's a keeper out of confidence. Get rebounds. Paddy Bamford can tap him in. Costa, Harrison, etc., can tap him in. And obviously, as Gail Dale mentions there, Ancelotti's a big factor. You look at Lampard, Arteta, all these managers, new kind of rookie managers, they don't quite compare for me to Ancelotti. And I think I look at the top 3 at the minute, obviously Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham. That's probably quite secure for me at the minute. City don't look the same team at the minute. City are massively struggling to score goals. Arsenal, I think they were struggling to beat Rapid Vienna, whoever they're playing today. They're struggling to even score in that game. Who else have we got? We've got Leicester as well. Leicester just not being. I think Everton,
maybe
that last place is really up for grabs. Everton haven't got European football either. If they make a couple of good January additions, maybe sign a centre back, they could really. I think they can. If they make a January signing, but they're not getting anything on Saturday, though, mate. Don't worry about that. Their good form starts after Saturday, mate.
Yeah. I mean, how do you see the game going? I think what a key area for me is obviously the midfield battle. I think they've in our land have brought in a fantastic talent, absolute midfield destroyer for me. And alongside Doucouré, he was just up and down, box to box. I mean, for me, that's an area really where there's going to be a decent battle in there.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think obviously, Alan's a massive player for him. I think him against Click will be an interesting little battle. Yeah. Doucouré against Phillips, in terms of box to box, that'll be quite a good battle. I imagine it'll be Phillips picking him up in the man-to-man marking. And obviously, you've got Gomez as well, who might be fit in this game, might play, depends the kind of shape they go with. And I have to be honest, Gomez, being quite keen on the Spanish football, when he was at Barcelona, he's probably one of Barcelona's, I think they boast him that one of their worst ever players. And he's kind of come to England and he's just been absolutely superb. And to be fair, I think it's probably massively helped him, that experience. And that'll be an interesting battle. I think he's obviously showing good mentality. He's had that big injury last season. He's kind of almost snapped his whole leg off, kind of thing. It was a horrific injury, but he's come back from that early. He's obviously got a good mentality to him. And obviously Ancelotti's the big factor as well, isn't it? In terms of he gets the best out of attacking players. He's made Calvert-Lewin. He's got the absolute maximum out of Calvert-Lewin at the moment, hasn't he? And I think obviously James, he's kind of rejuvenated him. Richarlison, as you say, is one of the most overrated forwards in the league. And yeah, that's a big thing. But what I do think with Everton is they're very open. I think you saw from that Southampton game when Southampton kind of did a number on them, the high pressed them. And I think that defence has got a few mistakes in them. I think Michael Keane, Mina, I don't think they're particularly good at playing the ball at the back. I think our press against that, a bit similar to Arsenal, could cause them a few problems. But yeah, obviously, sure with Arsenal, there Thomas Partey missing, massive loss for them. Luca Digne is a similar kind of loss in terms
he's
of
massive, isn't he?
influence on the team. And it's hard to replace, and it does tell in the performance. And we've seen that a few times this season. It's been a little bit easier for us in that sense. And obviously the bench I think is going to be key again, mate. Obviously Costa and Roberts having a good midweek. For the 23s. Costa's goal, the winner. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, mate. Unbelievable. Unbelievable skill, mate. Honestly, from the left as well. To be fair, from the left hand side, he's just wiggles in and out, beating about 3 or 4 players and finishing it with his right foot. So obviously, there's probably a bit more incentive there for Costa to have a really good impact. Imagining he will come on in this game. Ian Paveda as well. So we saw what they did on Sunday. When they came on, they've got massive options off the bench, and I think it's going to be key. I don't see less than 4 goals in this game, to be honest with you, mate. I feel it's a 2-2 or a 3-2 or either way.
I think Ancelotti can be very rigid as well, right? Like very, very rigid in terms of I don't see him changing it mid-game and it being,
No, definitely. That's just one of his big criticisms. That obviously, ironically, I read 4-4-2 quite a lot, and the article was on Ancelotti as well, and he said like at the big clubs and that lot, sometimes obviously his success, mate. I mean, he's won a league title in England, Italy, France, Germany, 3 Champions League trophies. I mean,
there's some huge clubs, haven't he? Like, insane.
He's managed them all. He's managed them all. He's managed a lot of clubs I dislike as well. But to be fair, I've got a lot of respect for him in terms of what he's achieved. But he's not quite a bit like Mourinho in the sense he's not quite that longevity because he only wants to play the game in one way. He's kind of the opposite to Mourinho in the sense that he's a lot more attack minded. But he would never go and play Leeds and sit back like Arsenal did. He'd never do that. And that might play out to our hands because Villa did the same thing. It's kind of a bit similar to Villa. Obviously, you got Grealish to worry about in that game in a similar way. You got James to worry about. A bit of a similar kind of dynamic to it. Watkins and Calvert-Lewin, etc., etc. I think Everton have probably got a bit more quality, to be fair. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely an open game. I think Bielsa and Ancelotti, probably the 2 most attack-minded managers in the league. And I think the last thing to say on it is that I think it's the first time Bielsa and Ancelotti have met in a game. What odds would have you got 10 years ago when Bielsa was managing the World Cup, Ancelotti was managing Chelsea, that they would meet in a game like this, which, let's not have any disrespect to either club, but you'd imagine it'd be a Champions League final, wouldn't you? If they beat
of course,
You'd not imagine that it's a Premier League game, where both teams are trying to just push for the top half or possibly more than that. It is insane, but it shows that both managers have been willing to drop down and really prove their worth and really try and carry a team and elevate them up. And let's not forget, Leeds and Everton, we don't get the respect we deserve. We're both big clubs. A lot of Liverpool fans will say we're not, Man United fans will say we're not, Chelsea fans will say we're not. But this is 2 big clubs that are sleeping giants, aren't they? And giants that are starting to wake up again. Yeah,
definitely, mate. And I think what you touched on him just briefly, obviously James Rodriguez, what a signing. Who'd have thought, all them years ago, the top, you've mentioned like the top scorer, Golden Boot winner at a World Cup would be rocking up at Everton alongside Ancelotti. They're the facts behind it, but he's had quite the impact, hasn't he, coming over. I think he's a special talent. I seen one stat earlier on in the season where he'd made no sprints. I don't know if you've seen that in one of the games where I think he'd assisted 2 as well and like had made no like sprints or something like that. The stat was mad stat. But exciting talent and someone we've got to be wary of. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think whoever plays left back has got a right battle on their hands, because he's not really like a traditional winger because he just cuts in all the time and it's that left foot. That left foot is just absolute magic, isn't it? He can score from distance. I mean, let's look at the stats here. You think you mentioned there. His stats so far this season. It's 3 goals, 3 assists in 8 games. It's pretty superb stuff, really. To be honest, I don't think any of our lads, in terms of the attacking players outside of Bamford, have kind of managed that so far. And he's a top player now. And I'd like to think, if I'm being honest, it's Dallas at left back. I think Alioski, it's a big ask for him in terms of keeping up with someone who's going to cut inside. And I think Dallas has got that bit more experience of doing that. That's just a personal opinion. I do suspect it'll be Dallas.
Trying to line up then. How do we expect it to go then? Obviously, in goal we're going Ilian Meslier. all day, every day, right?
Yeah,
Eh?
definitely. Yeah, definitely Meslier. Yeah. I think three of the back fours pretty much sorts itself. Obviously Ayling, Cox, Cooper. I think that's certain. I think it seems like left back's kind of a debatable one, because
So who
Alioski.
would you go then? Who's going in there for you?
Personally, I'll obviously explain it later on as we go through the latter bit of the team. But Dallas for me at left back. What would you say to that, mate?
I agree with you, mate. Because I'm hoping, although they might
It's
not
harsh
be.
on Alioski. It is a bit harsh on Alioski. He did have a good game, but
I'm thinking more so Dallas because I'm thinking there's going to be changes in the midfield. And I want there to be changes in the midfield because Rodrigo has to come in, and if Rodrigo comes in, he comes in alongside Click, which then frees up Dallas to move back to left back. But like you say, I thought Alioski had a fantastic game, and it wouldn't surprise me, Oscar, if Bielsa went with the same starting lineup, if I'm honest.
not at all. I see one change at most, mate. I think the debate is Rodrigo or Alioski, and it's not a surprise either way, I think either way, whoever is selected has got to really work hard to keep their place. I think it's as simple as that. I think Bielsa will say to him, if you're selected, if Rodrigo, you're selected, but Alioski, he had a brilliant game. If you're not up to it in that first 45 minutes, you'll come off. And that's how we've seen it before with Bielsa. Rodrigo might be Spain's number 9, but Bielsa is not afraid to, not stand up to it. That's the wrong way to put it. Rodrigo's got a great personality, but he's not afraid to kind of not treat him like his royalty as such, if that makes sense. He's very much keen on keeping everyone down to earth. So no surprise at all, mate, if Alioski keeps his place. And we've seen it before, Bielsa. We won't rush anyone in. We won't rush anyone in unnecessarily. Even Rafinha had to work quite hard to keep his place, and I suppose he's probably made that right wing spot his own. I can't see Poveda as well as he did play when he came on. Obviously, Costa having a good game midweek. I can't see any other changes other than that, to be honest. I think we kind of both alluded to that. Probably, I can't see a change to a back three either because, Everton don't play 2 up top. So I think it's going to be quite a, 10 of the 11 places are pretty much, you can bet on, to be fair. You can bet your house on, to be honest.
Yeah, so we're going Dallas at left back, KP just in front. Let's chat about Rafinha. Does he keep his place over Costa, regardless of Costa's midweek performance in the under-23s?
Yeah, I think so. I think both in terms of what I want and what I think will happen. I think so, mate. I have to say he's done enough, I think, to keep his place. I think obviously there is probably another level to his game, but I thought it was certainly in terms of what Costa's produced for us, in the first team for the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks. I just thought Rafinha was kind of that step up, and I think we said on Monday Night Football, with Paul and Johnny, we said that the understanding between him and Mateus Click on that right-hand side, that right channel, fantastic. Ayling as well. Ayling didn't even have a particularly good game, but the build-up was fantastic. And you think if Ayling's on it on Saturday, which I'm sure he will be, you don't see Ayling have 2 bad games in a row. That is exciting. No left back there for Villa, for Everton. We could cause some absolute havoc on that side of the pitch.
There was a combination, I think it was in the first half, where we almost scored from it, and there was a triangle of Rafinha, Click and KP in the centre of the park, and the move was just absolutely electric. And to think that Rafinha's come in such a short space of time, we've seen him every game he's come on and impacted or done something, like the pass at Villa. There was the trick against Van Arnold, when he did that mad turn on the edge of on the touchline. I don't even know what it's called. I don't know what the kids are calling it these days, but it was absolutely unbelievable. And then I just thought he was absolutely fantastic and showed so much. And I know Bielsa wasn't so glowing about him in the post-match, and I think that was more so to maybe curb it a little bit, because the one thing that stuck out for me, Oscar, was the fact that he wasn't substituted. Like, I think when he brings Poveda on, I'm thinking at the time, just due to the fitness and how long Harrison's played, Harrison stays in and Rafinha comes off for Poveda. But what he actually did is move Rafinha out to the left wing and put Poveda on the right. So it shows how much he's well thought of in such a short space of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think I definitely got the same impression after Bielsa's post-match, on Arsenal. It was quite. Yeah, mate, that's brilliant. I met Harry as well. He's a top fella, Harry, to be fair.
It was brilliant, though. I don't even know what it was, but it was just like, wow. And he nutmegged Willian, didn't he?
Yeah. We forget about that. That's in the first minute, wasn't it? Practically of the game. How many people would we have in the past couple of years who would be daring to do that in the first minute of a game against Arsenal? On his first start as well, and he's superb, mate. I've said before, he's going to play for Brazil for me. I think I see everything about him. I think, I'm not going to say he's Neymar level, but he's got that kind of fearlessness to him, kind of thing. He's got that lovely bit of skill, that bit of pace, and just a bit of everything about him. And just hopefully he adds the goals to it. He adds the end product to it, which is ultimately what's going to win us games. And I think he is going to win us a lot of games this season.
Of course.
Definitely. He's hit that chance he had at the end against Arsenal. You give that him again, he'll score the next chance like that. It's just and he can play on both sides as well. So he obviously had the chance to put Vader right wing, Rafinha on the left. It was just so smooth and just looked so good and natural. I think that's the big thing of it. He just looks such a natural talent, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, so on the left-hand side, goes without saying, it'll be Jackie Harrison, Jackie Harridonna, Jack Harrison, whatever you want to call him. Pillow feet, basically, the best touch in football. Obviously, Click, who, as Bielsa and Oscar told us, could play for Barcelona.
Too good for Barcelona,
yeah.
mate.
Right now, yeah.
we batter Barcelona. Even with Messi, we batter him, mate.
And then this is where we need, if we're putting Dallas at left back, it means Rodrigo's coming in, doesn't it? And I think that's a key thing for me. I think if we start the game with that 11, obviously Bamford leading the line, Rodrigo in there alongside Click, I think we might have too much for Everton.
Yeah, I think certainly going forward, I think it could cause some massive problems. The only thing is defensively, obviously Arsenal didn't really test us, did they? I think that's the one thing we've got to admit to. Obviously we saw against Leicester with their kind of talent that on the counter they caused us a few problems. And I think the counter is going to be quite crucial for Everton. I think we'll have a lot of the ball again. I can't see anything other than that. I think we'll have most of the ball. I think I can see that being the case, really. I think we'll have a lot of the play as usual. It's just, can we just be more ruthless? Obviously against Arsenal, how many shots we got off in that game? 25 shots. We had plenty of shots off from distance. At Pickford, this is the thing. Leno made 2 world-class saves in that game. Does Pickford make them? I'm debating that. That one off Dallas at the end.
Great save on it.
I don't think Pickford saves that, to be fair. And I think obviously Pickford's got mistakes in him too. And I think the Everton back, it's the centre-backs, Michael Keane against Bamford. I think Bamford wins that battle for me. Rodrigo obviously making the runs from deep, playing as number 10. I think there's a lot of problems there. If we play that front four in effective, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Harrison, Bamford, Click just behind it, linking it all together. Phillips screening them all. Obviously we're open. I know we're open. Everyone will say, all the critics will say, Everton is too open. What the headlines will be, etc., etc. You can't play football in this way. You've got to play 4-4-2, and you got to play 7 defenders and all this lot. It's just rubbish, mate. There'll be critics, but it's the way we play, mate. And I think we will win games against these big teams. In these next 2 games, I think most people will say outside of Leeds that Leeds lose these 2 games. But for me, I think we're going to win one of them. I think they're going to both Everton and Chelsea are so open in the way we play that Rafinha, Rodrigo, Bamford will kill one of the 2 teams for me. And I'll go on record of saying that. I do think that will happen. Whether it's this game or the next game, I think probably more likely this game. But I've already asked you the question, would you take an Everton defeat for a Chelsea win? And you gave me a resounding yes on that one. I'm sure it'll be the same again. But no, Everton's the game this week. I'm going off the tangent there talking about Chelsea, but I'm confident, mate. I am genuinely confident going into this.
How important do you think it is that we get a win? Because obviously, if we don't, I know a point would be all right at Goodison Park, let's be honest.
All right. No, a point would be... I mean, it'd be a good result. Anything at Everton would be a good result.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what you're saying. Obviously, it'll be 4 without a win?
4.
Obviously that's a bit of a concern, but we've played some good teams in that spell. It's one of those things. But yeah, mate, if you ask me now, would I take a point? Would I take a point? I don't know. But yeah, I guess I would. Yeah. But what I'll say is, Everton scraped past Fulham. A missed penalty of Fulham. Fulham were the worst team this season for me by a mile. They almost conceded 3 against them, but for everything for Fulham to shy in a penalty.
But did we not?
Yeah, but we let them in for a laugh. It's different for us.
There's a lot being made about that, but I just think
we felt sorry for Fulham. We felt sorry for it for a bit. We didn't want to embarrass them. Like for the second time in 3 months. We just let them in for a laugh. We just for a bit of a laugh. And we still won at least.
Yeah. So, give us a score prediction then. What's your thoughts for this?
I'm going to say 3-2 Leeds, I'm going to say 3-2 Leeds. I think Calvert-Lewin against Cox, the big battle. I think they're going to probably score, maybe 1 or 2. But for me, us going forward, mate, I've already said about that right-hand side against the left-hand side. There's a big mismatch there. Click in the form of his life. Rodrigo being absolutely superb. I just think there's too much firepower there for Leeds. And you look at the law of averages as well. We've had 25 shots against Arsenal and none of them have gone in. It's like, like when you wait for a bus, none come and 3 come at once. That's what's happening on Saturday, mate. It's a Bamford hat trick. All 3 buses are coming in. And I can see it, mate. 3-2 Leeds.
Yeah, I like her. I don't really know where I'm going because they are going to score. They are going to score for me. I don't think you can keep that front 3 quiet, if I'm being totally honest, and they will create and they will score. I'm not quite sure we'll get 3. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds United. But I think it's key that we see Rodrigo start from the start. I think for me, if he doesn't, I don't know. I just think if Rodrigo would have started against Arsenal, I know he wasn't fit and ready and raring to go, but I think we win the game over 90 minutes with him on the pitch.
No, 100%. I think if he came on at half time a bit earlier, I think we'd probably win it. Not to criticise Bielsa, I can understand why he did it. I think obviously it was just a bit unlucky, Rodrigo. He's had a couple of weeks out, he's just come in, then had a couple of weeks out of COVID. It was a blow from that sense. And but honestly, mate, I think certainly first half, obviously the shots we had from distance, if Rodrigo's having that shot that Dallas had towards the end of the game,
it gets dragged
probably
wide,
goes in the back of the net, and obviously that one, the one that gets dragged wide as well. I just think Rodrigo was scoring that first half, to be honest. But one of those things, mate, it just wasn't quite our day last week. And I just think law of averages, there's always going to be games like that for us. There always has been games for us like that under Bielsa way. I can't work out how we haven't scored. That was one of those games on Sunday. I think we go crazy on Saturday. A poor goalkeeper as well, Jordan Pickford. I just wish there was Leeds fans there. I just hope we just get under his skin a little bit because he is a bit emotional, Pickford. I hope Aylin's giving him a bit of that on the corners and that lot, or Alioski.
I think we need to play Alioski just for that. Just play Alioski up front and let him get at Pickford.
Pickford, mate, we see what Pickford has done. He's rash, the Van Dijk thing. I mean, people in Liverpool are still talking. People in Liverpool are still trying to get Pickford arrested for that. They're still trying to. They're still trying to get.
Well, I was speaking to Sarah. And obviously during the week on the opposition preview, please check it out. Top last, by the way. She'd said that he's had to have like protection for him and his family and stuff, which is it's a bit far. It's a bit much, isn't it? It's a bit much.
That's what happens, mate. It's just don't wind up Liverpool fans, mate. It's it's just mate. But I mean, he's not in great form. He's obviously he's got his place is under threat. Everton fans are a bit.
So, do you think there's any chance that he doesn't play?
Maybe, I think it's Olsen. Is it Olsen?
Yeah, from Roma. Yeah, I think it's Roma, wasn't it?
I don't know a lot about him, to be honest, mate. I don't know how good or bad he is. I'd imagine he can't be as bad as what Pickford's been so far this season. But, I think Pickford played. Did he play on Sunday, I think? I'm pretty sure he did. It's just he's having a Kiko moment, isn't he? He's in Kiko Casilla kind of form.
It's hard to get out of them moments, man. He's having a Joe Hart, isn't he? He's having a Jack Butland. I mean, Jack Butland was touted for the top, man, and wow, what a season he had.
I'd have said the same for Pickford. At that World Cup, for England, he was unreal. The penalty saves, that save against Colombia, he was unreal. And then ever since then, it's just gone downhill for him. And but somehow he's still going to be England's number one. It doesn't matter if he throws the ball into the back of the net 3 times, he'll still be England's number one. And
definitely,
it's just one of those things, mate. And hopefully we take advantage. Just
big shout out
target.
Big shout out Corey Kemp as well. West Ham Way says Everton without Digne and Coleman will seriously struggle going forward and creating chances, and we've touched on that. Both a massive loss. I think Iwobi played at right wing back. Like I said, I spoke to Sarah midweek. She said it was the best game he's ever played for Everton, playing at right wing back. Not sure he'll play at left wing back or left back for them. But yeah, Corey will be with us as well tomorrow for Before the Whistle Blows, where we have a look at the weekend's fixtures, same time, 8 o'clock. We've got an Everton fan joining us as well, I believe, Oscar. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got what I'm not sure who it is yet, but it's from the Toppy Blues YouTube channel. I did a little piece with them yesterday. Make sure you check that out, guys. It'll be one of those guys from the team joining us tomorrow. To talk to us about Everton, and it's Friday night football before the whistle blows.
Yeah, we love it, don't we? Before the whistle blows,
you can't beat it.
And then Saturday we've got the game, obviously, so we've got that to go live, and I'm sure we'll sort some out Sunday as well. We like doing these lives, don't we? We want to do more, mate. That's the thing. Just
let us know, guys. Do you want more? Do you want more? I think this is definitely the way to go on match previews. Definitely. I think this is it's been a very pleasant evening, my man.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice to have a chat, hasn't it? We've spoken about Maradona, COVID, and the tears. We've had a chat about the presses. Bielsa winning the FIFA or going to win the FIFA award. Click being the best player in the world. Chat about Everton's midfield, that front three. Pickford and his tiny arms. Iwobi being, right wing back. And yeah. Oh, there's one thing I want to do, right? Before I came on, I'll ask, because the little one likes asking quiz questions. We normally do Harry Potter quizzes and stuff, right? And I said, give us a Premier League one. So I got some Premier League questions. And then she asked one. I thought, this is a good one. So tonight I want to ask Oscar a Premier League question. I want to get everyone else involved as well. Right, so there's been 4, and I managed to get 3, by the way. I don't know how I didn't get the other one, if I'm honest, but there's been 4 Italians who have had Premier League hat-tricks. Can you name them?
Okay, let's have a go. Paolo Di Canio. It's got to be. Surely Paolo Di Canio. No, that was my banker, mate. That was my banker. No. Oh, man, that was my banker, that. Balotelli.
Yeah, that makes me think surely he's had one. No, well, he wasn't on the answer. No, he mustn't have. Corey will be able to tell us, but no.
Mario Balotelli?
He's one, yeah.
Oh, I'll take that. I was trying to think. It's going to be tough, this. I was trying to think how many Italian strikers there have been.
Haven't been that many, has there? That's what I mean.
It's not any for Leeds. I think any for West Ham, anyone else?
Don't look at the comments either, because there's some good comments coming in.
I'm looking in. I'm actually genuinely interested, mate. Man.
Tell me when you want a clue.
Fabrizio Ravanelli.
Boom, there's 2.
Oh, what an answer that is. I'm not looking.
You should be able to get the other 2, man.
Good at getting the obscure ones, but I can't get the ones I should get.
Boom, John H is on fire. John H is on fire. He's got them all. John H has got them all.
Has he? I'm under pressure now.
Someone said Antonucci.
Antonucci.
A good player, by the way.
Man. So there's got to be 2 more obvious ones.
Yeah, they are. These are the 2 I got first.
I can't think of any Italians who play for Scum. I can't think of City. Anyone else for City? Anyone else for Liverpool? No one for Liverpool.
So think about some more of them big clubs that you're mentioning.
Tottenham. No, I mean, not really a big club, are they? Little dig there. Oh, man. Italian. It's got me puzzled, that. I'm actually really determined to get this. Go on, give us another clue.
Right, they both played for the same side.
It's a big.
I can't believe you haven't got the main man. Like someone's. Don't look at the screen, but come on.
I don't know.
Do you want to know? So they played in London, or they do play in London.
Mate, I've gone.
But they play in blue.
Plain blue. Okay, I've still not looked. The plain blue, Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, come on,
Mate,
the tiny little magician.
Oh, Gianfranco Zola. It's one of them.
There's one. Look at him looking at the comments. I can see him.
Mr. Vialli.
Yay! How did you not get Zola?
Mate, I couldn't think. I was purely thinking strikers. I didn't think. Oh, man.
So,
yeah.
It was Ravanelli that let me down, which obviously
mate,
I should have got.
That one. Because I just remember the hair, mate. I just remember he looked like N&M and that lot. He just, yeah, mate, I remember him. He's a nutter. Brilliant.
Do you like that question? I'm going to get you some more. I'll get you some more.
I rate that.
I'm trying to think of some. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think of some more. There was some good ones there as well. I'm going to sit here now and try to think of some. Nah, I can't. They've gone. We'll be sat here on that. But there were some beauties. To be fair. Right. Okay. Anything else you want to go through?
A lot of people want me to get a wig for tomorrow. We'll see. I might pop up with something different tomorrow. I might.
Do you know what you should wear? You should wear your championship winning video
attire.
Yeah, your attire with your glasses and everything.
I can't actually remember. I put the glasses, since that night. I don't know what.
Really? They're probably in the garden. We were in the garden at one point. I was in the garden at one point.
Yeah. Skipping over just everything. Mate, I'd have to dig them out. I will pop up with something. I will pop up with a different attire next time.
I'm not. Do you know what I've been saying to them? Give me some Premier League quiz, so next time I have a go on before the whistle blows, I can get them all right. I'm like, yes, I get them. Oh, I've got one for you. That's just come back to me. Who scored the fastest ever Premier League hat trick?
I know this. I do know this. Sadio Mane.
Who for?
Southampton.
Yeah, well done. I'm trying to think of some more, Oscar. I can't think of any. But we'll get some. But tomorrow, before the whistle blows, 8 o'clock, myself, Oscar, Corey Kemp, there he is, Sadio Mane.
But it was like 5 minutes, wasn't it? It was I remember watching it live.
It was 2.5, something like that. Crazy.
Live, thinking, what the? And that was before Mane was kind of knowing about it. I remember that, to be fair. That was
Sadio Mane. Have you seen that video on Redmen TV when that guy goes, he's the best player in the world? And they're like, what? And he's going, what are you laughing at? Sadio Mane? It's brilliant. Right,
you won't get the Leeds team, mate.
Yeah. Before the whistle blows, with myself, Oscar, Corey Kemp, and a Everton fan, we're just going to grab one from somewhere, but they will be there. We'll go through the key games. Saturday, we're going to do the game, of course. Then you'll have post matches out. Probably Sunday. We're going to try get back moving with the opposition review. I think that'd be good if we can do a live maybe on the game after, on the evening after. It's just sometimes we play on a Sunday, so it falls in place.
The days that we've had, obviously Sunday and Monday games, it's a bit more.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Saturday games, a couple of Saturday games coming up now. We'll definitely do something on the Sunday as well.
Can do something on the Sunday. Get an opposition fan, just talk about the game, unless we've took a spanking. I actually contacted a Chelsea fan as well, and they said no.
Bottled it.
Well, I don't know. They just said no because of the disdain between the two clubs. And then I thought about it myself, and I was a bit like, yeah, it's a good point. I don't think I can have a proper conversation. I might leave that to you, Oscar, because I just don't know.
I want someone the biggest Frank Lampard lover. I just want the biggest Frank Lampard lover. And you, mate, well, no, mate, we'll get. Let us know in the comments. Do you want a Chelsea fan on this channel next week? Do you want a Chelsea fan to grace all Leeds TV?
Exactly.
Or do you not? Do you want it or do you not?
It's same for them across the Pennines as well. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, that's one. We have to see what the crowd wants. There, tell us what you want, guys, because we're a bit unsure on that one. But guys, let us know. Chelsea, Man United fans, do you want an opposition review with them, preview with them? Just let us know, guys. Because at the end of the day, what we think's right might be different to what you guys want. We want to know what the audience wants on that one.
Yeah. I did. This is the fanning question that I tried to contact. So, pied.
Well, that's awkward.
Yes, very. But there you go. Is what it is.
We'll just get Lampard instead. We'll just get Lampard himself.
Yeah. But nah. I think that's it, Mr. Marriott. Do you?
Yeah, I think we have discussed. I think
everything. It's been fun. I could speak all night. To be fair, but I need to go to bed. So there you go. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Know any West Ham fans? Of course we do, man. Do you not watch Friday?
Do we know any West Ham fans, mate?
The main man, Corey Kemp. He's got one of them boy bandy type names, hasn't he? Corey Kemp.
Corey Kemp. Yeah.
Corey Kemp.
Definitely American. What's his name? He was in McFly, I reckon.
Yeah. Corey Kemp from McFly. Good times. We're rambling now, as you can tell. We're just talking rubbish. I keep having to try not to swear as well, because I've realised, guys, that when we swear, the videos are they're not monetized. Like, obviously we don't do this for the money anyway, but what I'm saying is, of all the live streams, I don't know why they changed it, because it never used to be the case, but all our last live streams have all been struck. So I'm like, I was saying, it must be my language. I come off thinking, I haven't swore. And then I'll be like, I must have. So I need to watch the language, because obviously
the Chelsea one though. The Chelsea one's going to take it's going to take a battering, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's. I think that one might end up getting privatised at some point, depending on the result.
Yeah, no, that's going to be some game, innit, mate?
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of them. Like, it's one that I really do not like.
Just wanted, especially like that. Just the fact, not even the Lampard factor, just the fact it's Leeds Chelsea. The last time Leeds and Chelsea played, I didn't get to the game when they beat us and Becchio scored that goal. I didn't get to that because it was on. I think it's supposed to be on like a Wednesday night, and they moved it back to a Thursday. I couldn't get out of college quick enough to get down there. I was gutted, mate. When Becchio scored, and that, I was thinking, it's just like, it's one of those days. But it'll be the first time seeing Chelsea play Leeds in a long time.
It's highly likely that we're gonna be there. We're probably going to be in the ground, hopefully, for the return fixture. You would imagine, and that's where we want the big games, right? We've only missed out really City and Arsenal, and in terms of atmosphere, them two sets of fans, they ain't really about much. If we're being totally honest,
it's not like I think Scum and Chelsea's the big one, isn't it?
And even Liverpool, Liverpool are going to come and they're going to bring an atmosphere. Everton are going to come and bring an atmosphere. Not them two that we've missed. Not City and Arsenal for me.
That's probably the two you probably pick out of them all. In terms of the big clubs and that lot. Maybe Tottenham. Maybe you could have let Tottenham off and that lot. But out of all the big clubs, that's probably the two I probably said I'm not that bothered about in terms of if you had to pick them to miss out, because we'll play them again next season. That's the thing. We're going to get another chance at this. If we're not, I can't see us being in trouble this season. That's what we've got to remember. This isn't just a one-shot chance. Hopefully, we're going to be playing these teams for a long time. At the very least, and we've got the cup as well. Let's not forget about that. Hopefully, a bit of a cup run as well. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. FA Cup final. I'll take that, mate. FA Cup final and top 6. I'm having some of that. But we'll see. Let's see how Everton goes this weekend, and then we can look ahead to Yeah, Chelsea. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait, my son. This is what we're in it for, man. This is what we're in it for. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's been class. Thank you so much. Smash a like just before you do leave if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. We'll see you in a bit. And then, of course, we'll see you tomorrow night, actually. We'll see you tomorrow night. Peace out, people. Love you. And